So, hello guys, what is up? Today I'm gonna make my predictions on the upcoming FIFA World Cup 2026. So, let's try. So, here we go, guys. Here are the groups. So, here's Group A, and yeah, it's a real solid group, I would say. Like it could go either way, but let's be honest, Mexico, they are gonna finish where they are, in here. They are gonna finish first. I think South Africa are finishing last. And I think I don't really need to make any changes in this group, as it seems quite okay, quite fine already. And as for the Group B, though, I think Qatar is not gonna make it, and can't be sure about Bosnia too. Switzerland are definitely topping the group. Canada, with Alfonso Davies, Jonathan David, could do good. They could finish top two. I think Bosnia have got it. Like they defeated Italy to make it to the World Cup, and may, most people may call it a fluke, but I think it's a big deal. Not stopping Italy to not qualify in the World Cup for the third consecutive time is really a big deal to me and to any football fan out there. And as for Group C, of course, this is the group with Brazil, and yeah, everyone wants Brazil to do good, but can't really be sure, can we? Because it's been 24 years since Brazil last won the World Cup, but they still are always gonna be a favorite going into the World Cup because they are the very best. 5 World Cups. It's not easy, is it? So yeah, in this group, I think the group is pretty much set up already, and I don't really need to make any changes. So let's move to the next group, which is Group D. The group with another host nation. Group A had Mexico, and Group B had Canada, and then there's the main hosts, United States. As for the USA, I think they've got a decently good squad. Let's place them third though, right? And this group really is unpredictable. Like Australia are definitely making it to by finishing first or second. As for Turkey, they might finish third or fourth. You know. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna place Turkey at the bottom. I know that's a real bold move. They have got a massive talent. Uh, their captain being Çalhanoğlu. Then they have obviously Arda Güler and Yanan Yildiz, and they've got the talent, they have the quality to do it, to make it. But I don't know, man. They are playing in the World Cup after a real long time, and I really do not know what to expect. USA could make it to the knockouts through being one of the better third place teams. 8 of the 12 third place teams will make it to the knockout stages. So I think US may as well be there. I know, of course, the Paraguay thing. I think when it comes to Americas, when America, any country, any nation in Americas is hosting the World Cup, then Latin American countries do really do pretty damn good. I mean, could say the same for Colombia, 2014. As for Group E, Germany, Ecuador, Ivory Coast, and Curacao. I think I don't see any changes which are to be made in this group. And Netherlands, I mean, of course, Germany have not made it to the knockout stages since 2014. And 2014 Germany was totally different. Of course, they won the World Cup, but this is a pretty easy group for them. So I hope they make it. and that too in a dominating fashion. As for Netherlands, I think they're finishing first. Tunisia, and sorry, but you gotta go. I don't think they're gonna do much good because this group may not be the group of death. That's the group with England and Croatia, but I do really think this group is pretty damn competitive. You know, as for this group, I would say that Belgium are definitely finishing top. It's arguably easy. Mhm. New Zealand, I don't think they're gonna do much of it. Iran could make it, but you know what? I'm gonna place Egypt at second place. Yep, I'm going with Egypt. As for this group, you know, Spain and Uruguay together, along with Saudi Arabia. We know Saudi has got potential, but I think this is how it's gonna go. Spain topping the group, Uruguay making it second, Saudi Arabia over Cabo Verde. France, they are the biggest favorites coming into this World Cup with that amazing depth in the squad. You know, it's really just nothing but impressive with the depth which they have in their squad. And I think Norway are gonna make it to the knockout stages directly, and Senegal too, and Iraq are going down. I mean, yes, they made it through in the last stages. You know, like I suppose Iraq made it into the World Cup by winning the playoff game against Jamaica, and yeah, I think it's gonna be good for them because they're gonna play in the World Cup after a very very long time, but it won't be as rememberable because the group is pretty solid. You know, France, Norway, Senegal, and here comes the group of the current world champions, Argentina. I think Argentina, are, without any doubt, topping this group. It's not super easy group. I mean, other than Jordan, Austria and Algeria are the teams which could make you drop points, you know, like face a draw. Austria are that type of team. As for Austria and Algeria, I mean, they're definitely both making it to the knockout stages one way or another. But I think the direct qualification for the knockouts, that spot is for Austria to take. Here comes another favorites. I mean, of course, Argentina, Brazil, and France are the biggest favorites, along with Spain. But then there is Portugal. You don't know what to expect from them, but good, cause their team, the players, it ain't just Cristiano Ronaldo this time, is it? I mean, of course, number of players from PSG. You know, Gonzalo Ramos, a striker, who I would you all say, why? I mean, just why am I mentioning him first? Well, he did score a hat trick in the last World Cup against Switzerland, didn't he? When Portugal defeated Switzerland to win 6-1. The only scorer from Switzerland I could recall of is like Manuel Akanji, who scored for Switzerland at that time. Yeah, of course, there's Gonzalo Ramos, uh, then Joao Neves, and obviously Nuno Mensch. Three play and Vitinha, Victor Ferreira. Four players from Paris Saint Germain itself, you know, and of course, then you have arguably the best player in the Premier League this season, you know, along with Declan Rice and Erling Haaland, one at the top right now would be Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes, yeah, and then there's the uh, double winning captain in England, Bernardo Silva. So yeah, Portugal do have a super amazing team which could do good. But then again, a good team doesn't necessarily win the World Cup. Like if you look at Argentina, last times Argentina's team wasn't the best. This time's Argentina team too are not the best, but they are by far one of the most efficient teams out there. Of course, France have the depth, you know. France and Portugal have the best squads, and Spain they have got the quality from Barcelona, I mean, cause there's no one from Real Madrid, which is a shocker. It is a shocker, but it is what it is. I think it's fair enough, cause it's the World Cup, and we know Barcelona players have got the quality to make it. They're definitely making it into the semis. I mean, there ain't gonna be an upset for Spain. No matter who is in their opposition, they are gonna give them a tough game. And yeah, I think Portugal are finishing first in here. Colombia second, and Uzbekistan might just finish over Democratic Republic of the Congo, but they may not necessarily be the top eight third best teams. So yeah, here comes the group of Jet. Oh yeah, England are finishing first in this. They've got to. But again, in 2018, Croatia defeated England in the semi-finals, as we remember. I remember watching that game live. I was just 8 years old. I remember Kane not able to utilize that opportunity somewhere between the game, and yeah, it was a real shocker. Like, I didn't even knew a country like Croatia existed at that point of time. So yeah, this is gonna be a good game. And Ghana, I think they are easily gonna finish over Panama. But again, like many people are talking about, back in 2014 World Cup, England, Italy, and some other nation, I guess it was Uruguay, they were all in the same group. But the team which finished first wasn't either of them. It was Costa Rica, another Latin American team, another Central American team. Panama, they made it into the 2018 World Cup, so they aren't complete newbies this time. They have got the quality to defeat Ghana and maybe, just maybe, be one of the top eight teams to make it in the knockout stages. They got the determination. Can't say as much about the quality, but if you have the determination, you can really put up a show, can't you? Here comes the top eight teams to advance into the knockout stages. I think it's United States and Algeria and Senegal and Czech Republic. I really want Scotland to make it to the knockouts. It was really an inspiring manner in which they qualified into the World Cup. Would have been good if Parrot and Ireland could have made it too. They didn't make it, but yeah, that was a bit sad for me. I was so happy for them, just like I was for Scotland. But I think Scotland could do us good here. You know, I'm expecting good stuff from them. As for Sweden, I think they've got a good squad, haven't they? Like Alexander Isak and Victor Gyökeres, two amazing strikers. One made it. One won the Premier League. One played for the team which won the Premier League last season. But yeah, Isak was a failure. But again, they are playing for the nation. Yes, they were absolutely disastrous in the qualifiers. They made it through to the World Cup because they were one of the better teams in the Nations League, and they got a spot. They got a lucky spot. They and Poland and I know, like two more teams, maybe got Romania and Bulgaria got a spot through Nations League, but they somehow went on to be one of the four external teams to from Europe, from UEFA, who played in the 16 nations qualifier playoff tournament. So I think they could do it in a competitive atmosphere. They can even make it to the round of 16, not just the round of 32. As for here, I think Saudi are gonna make it, and the two more nations which I'm gonna go with are gonna be Ivory Coast and Scotland, and that is it for group stage. Now let's wrap up with the knockout stages. First matchup: Germany versus Czechia. Germany go through. France versus Scotland. France it is. There is a proper World Cup match. Germany versus France in the round of 16. Imagine the scenes. Can't wait for it anymore. South Korea are winning against Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Netherlands versus Morocco. Of course, Morocco were the one and only non South American, non European nation to make it to the semifinals the last World Cup. The very first African nation to make it to the semifinals of the World Cup, defeating Portugal, Belgium, Canada, and Spain. So they might just do it, but I think Netherlands have got a good squad and they're gonna make it. Colombia versus Croatia. Again, you know what? I'm gonna go with an upset here. Croatia have made it to the semifinals back to back times, have made it to the top four. But I think Colombia are winning this one. Spain versus Austria. Austria could maybe get the draw, in regular time, but somehow Spain will go on to get a winner in additional extra time. This is the type of matchup which I see this to be like. And Austria versus Cote d'Ivoire. I think Cote d'Ivoire have got to go because Australia are definitely winning this one. Quite good run for Australia already, round of 32. Belgium versus Algeria. I think an easy game for Belgium. Should be. Can be. We'll see. Brazil versus Japan. A big matchup we could see. A real big upset. But I think the dark horses aren't really gonna hold up as well this time. And Brazil are going through. Ecuador versus Norway. These are the dark horses of this World Cup. Norway, yeah. Mexico versus Senegal. Mexico it is because they're hosts. They've got the passion and yeah, all the support from the crowd are really, really beneficial to them in the biggest World Cup of all time. 48 nations and being the host from one of them is a big deal. And Mexico, as we know, are definitely the most passionate hosts of this time. Definitely way, way over the United States and Canada. As for England and Saudi Arabia, I think England make it easily. Argentina versus Uruguay. I think Argentina. Paraguay versus Egypt. Paraguay. Switzerland versus Sweden. You know what? I'm going with Sweden. I was kidding. Nope. I'm gonna go with Switzerland. Sweden are already. I've already been generous enough with Sweden to let them come to the knockout stages, in this prediction of mine. Portugal versus United States. Portugal it is. Huh. Germany versus France. It's gotta be France. It's gotta be. South Korea versus Netherlands. Another good matchup, but Netherlands. Colombia versus Spain. I'm gonna go with Spain. But you know what? Australia versus Belgium. This actually goes on to happen. And round of 16, I'm gonna go with Belgium. You know, Brazil versus Norway. See, Norway could win this, alright? They could do it. We have already seen Brazil being defeated by Belgium and Croatia in the last two World Cups. So we can't be sure about them in the knockout stages, but I think it's just the round of 16 yet. So they should be making it to the quarterfinals at least, because it ain't a European giant like Germany this time in the semis, because they would probably get knocked out by by France. And yep, Mexico versus England. England. Argentina versus Paraguay. Argentina. They are by far the better team in here. And Switzerland versus Portugal, a rematch from last time. Definitely Portugal. No chance for Switzerland. Netherlands versus France. France. Spain versus Belgium. Spain. I know. You're like, there must be some upsets, right? But again, like, sure, there are upsets in every World Cup. There will be in this too, but I think this part is quite predictable. Like, there's no way Spain are gonna lose to Belgium, and there's no way France are gonna lose to Netherlands. I guess. And as for Brazil versus England, a really massive game. If it happened to be like this, I'm going with England. Yeah. Argentina versus Portugal. I don't know, like, this might just start a controversy, but let's do a coin flip, shall we? You know what, guys? For this particular matchup, I'm gonna do a coin flip, but with a pen drive. So if it lands on this side, then Argentina go forward. But if it lands on this side with the text, then Portugal go forward. Logo versus text. Let's try. Oh, it's the logo, which means Argentina go forward. Argentina go forward. France versus Spain. You know what? An upset for France and their depth, because Spain are going into finals. Argentina are defeating England. And yeah, a full Spanish final, you might say, Iberia versus Latin America. Hmm, a fine matchup which we should have seen coming at some point, but the only point of time when it could go on to happen is in the finals. It should have happened in the finalissima already, but all the chaos in the Middle East didn't let us see that happen. Yamal versus Messi, the only time you could see this happen. And I think Argentina are gonna defend their title. Yes, I mean, of course, I might just be a bit biased on this, or very, very biased on this. But of course, the top contenders out there, the top five favorites for this World Cup are definitely. I'm not gonna like rank them. I'm just put it into perspective. Definitely Argentina, Portugal, Brazil, Spain, and France. Nope, England are not in the top five favorites, and I still went for England over Brazil because there's got to be some kind of upset. Even when it's some big matchup and you can't really put a name on a nation and say, oh, they are gonna make it so easily. And everything's on stake for matchups like this. And yeah, Brazil are gonna have an upset. Be updated on the World Cup with me. And yes, I'm gonna try to put up as much content I can and upload some great content for you guys during this World Cup campaign and make the USA, Canada, Mexico World Cup uh, another great World Cup for you guys as viewers, as fans, and as enjoyers of the game of football. That is goodbye for now, but we will return to be continued.